We're out here in these streets where there's no signal. Get to a position where I think I'm going to get some signal. Hold on a second. It's kind of crazy around here. Hope everybody's having a good Mayhem Monday, such as it is. Let's see how that looks without getting ran over by nobody. Maybe a little light. We out in the streets. What's up, YouTube? All right, we should be good here. Quick reposition. See who checks in, if anybody checks in, or not. All right, what's up, Barry Wood? We must be 5x5 of Barry's here. What's going on, Barry? Long time no see. I haven't seen you in a minute. It's been a while. Let me get some light. We got the West Coasters. We must be on at the right time. What's up, Boneyard? Hey, how's it going? I heard you guys are. So what's going on up there? Are you guys seceding? Are you? I don't know what's going on. It's like every time I turn around, Canada's doing something different. You know. Good to see you guys. Oh yeah. What's up, Mindy? How you doing? Man, all the West Coast people. So we're tracking this Monday evening. I'm sure you guys are well in tune with what's going on. Man, it's like you couldn't segue into February any better from what happened January, right? And Barry Wood's working hard. You just can't even deliver this kind of chaos, at one time without, and it'd be intentional. It has to be accidental, right? Boneyard's got snow on the ocean front. Yeah, we need some snow here. Hopefully this week we'll get some snow. It's rained a little bit this weekend, and it's like we need to get it a little cooler. We need to get some snow in here. So hopefully this next storm rolling in, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, topic of the day, the mayhem of that is February. Today's the 3rd. We've had implementation of tariffs. Trade war pretty much kicks off between 3 countries. Half of them back down, and half of them work a deal. You have Mexico now policing their own border, fighting their cartels apparently, like in 3 days. Like, I don't even know how to keep up with that. And then today, the markets react to the tariffs, drop negatively, bounce back up. Bitcoin bounces down back up, like gold down, up back up, like all chaos for everything. Everything across the board was in chaos. It wasn't like one thing that might be affected or one thing that could be imposed a tariff. Everything across the board was in just sideways. But I do have concerns continuing on. A good note, a solid, awesome deal. If you've been following the story, the agency known as USAID is pretty much under the gun right now and getting axed at the cyclic rate on some of their programs and some of the money that they send out, which is excellent. Like, definitely stuff we needed to get rid of and needed to be audited, and hopefully they'll close the whole agency because it's just a slush money fund for people's pet projects in other countries, and it's been used heavily to undermine governments and do a regime change in all these countries in the third world, right? So hopefully that USAID thing is completely axed, done away with, and we never have to worry about that again, and the trillions of dollars that funneled through there. So that's one bright spot that gives me hope, is stuff like that is going on, like all this for cutting and spending and stuff. And, we said it a couple times. We've said it ever since, even back in October, I think is when I first highlighted this. Are you ready for the outcome that you desire? If the outcome you desire is what are you preparing for that? Because the pain and the unsettled nature of society and the economy that's going to take place in order to get the things that you voted for and want to support, and the things that you hopefully do get through the person that you installed, or even if you didn't vote for them, the things you were dreading, right? We talked about it. Like on the other side, the things that you might have dreaded if you were voted the other way, like, are you preparing for that eventuality and that outcome? Because it's going to be painful either way. I mean, Yes, you need all this reduced spending. That causes recessionary issues. If the government does the standard thing and causes inflation, um, that's going to be painful too. So it's, recession, people lose jobs, and all this the economy shrinks, and all this stuff goes on. You got to be ready for that eventuality. The other flip side of that, the Federal Reserve pumps up tons of money in the economy, inflation goes crazy, and you have to fight that. So, prepare accordingly, as usual. As usual is the message. So don't think we're out of the woods just because it's been a good first couple weeks. And as much as I am encouraged by some of the things, I have things in the back of my head that still question, and part of it right now when you're at this point when things are going at the cyclic rate like this is like, why wasn't any of this implemented back in 2018? Why, after 2 years of evaluation of what you could do with executive orders, wasn't this stuff implemented at that point? Why did it wait until now? That's one of the big things in my brain that I'm just like, I just wonder why. I guess, you can evaluate from a distance sometimes better after you've done it for a few years. Maybe you didn't have the right people. I mean, it does take the right people in some instances, but it is what it is. Oh, we got a held message here. But we got Corsair trainer Steve. Steve's out there lurking. What's up, Rooster Cogburn? What is going on? Good to see you, Rooster. All the West Coast people are in the house. Gonna be a weird year, says Boneyard. Gold is 4,100 in Canadian. The Canadistan. And the legend himself, Poison Stinger, in the house. What's up, Poison? Are you doing any videos? I haven't seen you in forever. You're no longer on the West Coast. Okay. Used to be West Coast. Right on. I think I briefly heard something about that you had moved out into Central Time Zone. All right, I'll have to go check it out. I haven't seen anything from you in a coon's age, at least, if not more. So hopefully you're doing good. But a weird year, right, Boneyard? Like on the metals front and the money front in particular, like. And it's funny, Seller has been doing tons of videos. It's like Seller all of a sudden got interested in YouTube again. Just dropping video after video, and then he's hit Bitcoin like for the last week on these different questions about Bitcoin and his perception, and it's been interesting to see some of that. But money overall is taking a drastic shift. And you just hope that people don't get too lackadaisical in accepting things just because of who the salesman is, You know what I'm saying? Stinger's Live just dropped one. Somebody from Iran. All right. I forgot my Dari. I used to know a little bit of Dari back in the day. Mindy says, Trump didn't realize how deep the swamp was, and now he knows? Yeah, I mean, you would think, right? I mean, but I don't know, all those years hanging out with the Clintons, like, you think he would know then too, But hey, I mean, to accept the good when you get it, right? Don't cut off your nose to spite your face, or any other colloquialism you can use to move forward with the things that are good, and adapt as necessary, and enjoy it while you got it, I guess. So yeah, I know what you're saying there, Mindy. Hopefully that's the case. I think one of the current big issues is the sycophants that kind of are Trump can do no wrong, kind of make it a bad look. And some of his own rhetoric is kind of a little too arrogant as well. Like, you need to lead, not be so arrogant. You are trying to lead here. So let's disdouce that and move forward. Let's do away with the bomb throwing and stuff. It's not needed. But anyway, we'll see what happens. We got a long way to go. Again, it's only February 2025. We got 3 more years of this plus, 3.5 years, and because there's no re-election run, so he's not going to be involved. So you can say this is going to take place for you got 3 years, 11 months, and however many days, because he's just going to hand it off. The people are pretty pleased with Vance, on this political front. So the people are saying he's just going to hand it off to him, but who knows how that's going to work. Poison says, harder said than done. I've spited my face many times. Right? Sometimes you did that. But man, just, prices are going up. Gas shot up around here in certain places up to $3.50. So that was kind of concerning. But all the other stuff this tariff stuff's going to take a month or so to settle in before you really notice it. So we'll see how people feel then. And again, that goes back to, are you ready to endure? And people have said it all over the Twitter, just stop spending. People don't need to spend all they spend anyway. Stop spending all the money you're spending. Dig down and just do the things you need. Don't get the things you want. If you're supporting that agenda, you definitely need to be in that mindset. Poison says you kept the DNC chairperson. I didn't see who got the chairperson because the story was about David Hogg getting one of the vice chairs. That's what I saw. So I don't know who the chairperson is, but I saw that David Hogg got one of the vice chairs, and they was making a big deal about that. It's what is he, 22, 23? Nobody, that just has no nothing. It's empty suit again across the board as usual. Boneyard says the calm before the storm. Pile of tricks, right? Get people all comfortable, get people all happy with the outcome. But with that said, there is a little bit of chaos going down with this whole immigration deportation. If you're in a bigger city, these protests getting a little bit riled up, I guess you'd say. And as bad as 2020 was with the riots, these let me shift over here. These Dallas and LA protests and stuff, I don't know. A lot of it's been at night when the really bad stuff comes out. But man, that's just one bad incident. Burning an American flag and waving a Mexican flag over it. Somebody's gonna get a little upset about that. I'm a little upset about that. Dang, you can pretend to love to be here all you want, and then wave your flag of your country, and then be all mad when you get sent back to it. That doesn't make any sense. Somebody did a video on that, as a matter of fact. Oh, Red October did a good video about that today. Red October did a good video about the deportations scheme and people that are waving the flag of another country who refuse to go back there. What are you so proud about if you don't want to go back to your own country? Stop it. Stop it. And that's the thing. So it's been twisted around. A lot of the deportations have literally been felons who got waived deportation orders just because the past regime and previous regimes, for that matter, you're talking decades. Some of these people have been here with felony convictions on their record and just sucking off the system and doing other mischievous stuff while they're in the process and getting over on the system, and finally had enough. And ICE got the handcuffs taken off. So in a lot of those cases, these are very bad people that need to get put out of the country, because they're walking around free just because people didn't have political will to do it, or they had other ulterior motives of why to leave these people in the country to fit their agenda or whatever. That deportation thing is definitely something that's going to see how long it digs in. It happened. It's another thing that happened way faster than I think anybody expected. The way the hits went down really fast in a lot of cities. Again, it's one of those good outcomes, but, and I've warned about this for a while, the amount of police state it takes to round everybody up is concerning. Now, granted, this is targeted, and it's all fits within the structure of the way the government works right now. But if they start building that thing up, if they start, asking for, we need these X number of billions of dollars to finish the mission, and build this up, like that's when I've become really concerned, because that can easily be turned around on everybody and all of us. And but I do like the idea of, take all these IRS agents, and if they don't want to go to the border and support the mission, then they can get out of the federal, send them away. I did like that. Somebody floated that idea. All these letting all these IRS agents go, the extra 95,000 or whatever they hired, and if they don't want to do border duty, then they can get out and just pack their bags. Um, yeah, right, Rooster, pretty hilarious. The Saint is in the house. Baron versus Hog in 2036. I can't imagine. Hog does not have two brain cells to rub together. Um, Baron, he doesn't talk much. So you have no idea his capability or his cognitive abilities. But I don't like that just because of the nepotism angle. And he's got to prove himself. He's got to go do something. He can't just reside in the White House and be somebody's boy, and live the Bonnie Prince Charles life and think that he's going to get on and get it in. You know what I'm saying? You got to go do something in life and do something that means something. You can't just ride the coattails. I hate that to the nth degree. And Mindy says, my neighbor's an ice pilot, and people have no idea how dangerous these illegals can be. You're right. There's no doubt about that. The ones in particular, the ones they're deporting right now, are some of the most dangerous ones. Um, I haven't seen if they've done much work in Miami, but all those, like what was the Nortes, whatever the gang names are, but there's a couple of the really dangerous ones. Like they're just pretty much uh, satanic worshiping blood gangs. They're pretty bad people, even without the criminal element, without the laws they commit. They're pretty bad people overall after that. The Saint said that Trump tweeted flat tax versus lower income tax. I mean, you got to do something if you're going to keep these tariffs in place, because people are going to suffer. The longer these tariffs are in place, at some point, it's going to hit a certain amount of things they need to do or jobs they have, or it affects people. So I think everybody understands that. Hopefully, it's not just these tariffs hit and it only affects the country where the tariffs are in place. Don't know, it hurts the consumer, and that's us. Right, Rooster? No tax at all. Eliminate the income tax, and then you can oppose tariffs as you see fit, and that goes back to the consumption tax. That's basically the same thing. And then you can get rid of all the IRS agents. You don't have to worry about the income tax. You get rid of all the IRS. You're just tariff. You pay the tariffs, and we're all happy, right? I'm with you on that, Rooster. I'm totally with you. And Mindy says they're shackled in flight. Yeah, I saw a video of them saying they were walking an ice flight, and they were walking people on, and that was one of the big things, and need to be shackled. It would be interesting. I mean, supposedly Mexico is now putting a big effort into policing the border. So it'll be interesting to see how the cartel responds, because we know how violent they've been towards on the Mexican side in particular. Mexicans have dealt with a lot over the decades, like war zones in different parts of their own country, because the government's incompetent and not capable. It'd be interesting to see what kind of back and forth there is, what kind of deal. And there was a late article. I didn't get the chance to read everything, but apparently we pushed a U.S. intelligence gathering plane of some sort over the border to Mexico, like right after the Mexican president said they were going to start this effort. So, if we're committed to helping them out in that effort, that'll be interesting to see how that works, because that's definitely better than helping out whatever's going on in Central Europe, because it's definitely more effective than what happens here. And I think everybody's tired of dumping that billions of dollars over there into that money laundering machine. And Boneyard says they want their American Union just like the EU, the 10. And that's another thing, but right, Boneyard, like that's the thing. It's like they talking about this is just basically like an EU revamped. Trump keeps talking about all these things he's going to do with 51st state and annexing Panama and taking all these places. Like, Yeah, you're kind of signing big government. You're signing big government NWO-ish in some of those respects, right? So anything that encourages decentralization, I'm more for than I am for the the consolidation of all the people under one flag, right? Then again, Boneyard, we all know it's going to become a one world government in the end anyway. So prepare accordingly for that too. It may not happen in our lifetimes, but obviously the times we live, the speed of things, like it seems like it's just almost inevitable at this point, right? Rooster says Trump said America was most prosperous between 1870 and 1913, but didn't say what happened in 1913. Yeah, true, right? Yeah, if you just, it's like right there in front of you, there's the secret code word. Um, yeah, I mean, that's interesting that you point that out. He did mention the year, but he didn't mention the why, right? Like that's kind of interesting. And it's funny that your average news consumer probably won't put two and two together, right? They probably won't. They'll be like, "What? World War One? Like, yeah, World War One did this and that." Like, no, you morons. Who else? There was. I don't know if any of you guys watch Yankee Stacking. Uh, Yankee interviewed a guy, Leor. I can't remember his last name. Leor's been on several stacking channels, precious metal channels, over the last year or something. He's out of the Middle East, and his worldview is. I don't know if he's being disingenuous, if it's actually his worldview, but the way he presents things in this way, in the way he does, just uh, always just slightly around, like dodging the problem that is the Federal Reserve. Exactly, Barry. And Leor did an interview on Yankees channel today, and I was like, goodness gracious, you're kind of coming to some good conclusions, but your why this is happening and what the third order effects are. He places way too much faith in Trump and absolutely no blame on the Federal Reserve. Um, and so just I think he's being disingenuous myself, but his worldview is different too, and I think that might have something to do with it. Jekyll Island, right, Rooster? The name that will not be named. Boneyard says it will happen after the next false flag. People will willingly give up freedom for false security. And it doesn't even have to be a false flag, Boneyard. I talked about the whole adoption of digital currency and how we're really close to the CBDC, right? Even though Trump has just said basically it's not going to happen. Um, yeah, you say that until something happens, and you get people that are begging for it, and you get the populace to ask for it. That's what they want. They want people to want it because they'll be convinced that this digital currency is going to be their safety and security. That's what they're going to get sold on this next time. I think that's the next big shoe. Uh, but yeah, whether or not it's police state security or economic security and safety, however it's sold, is definitely going to be. It's just going to be the result of a bad event. It doesn't have to be fake in any manner. It can be totally a legit event, and they just manipulate it and use it to their own ends. Hey, what's up, C103? Good evening. And Saddam in the house, I guess. I didn't see Saddam check in, but okay. Welcome, John. Thank you, Woodrow Wilson. Right, Barry? Well, you got to blame everybody else that approved it and voted for it as well. I mean, it may have been Wilson's presentation, but it had to get passed through Congress in the dead of night on Christmas Eve, and the states still had to ratify it. And you could argue that it wasn't ratified properly as well. I think most of us are in tune with how that process went down. Rooster was talking at the bank about the whole mask thing today. Everyone was in agreement, but I was one of the only few that was refusing to wear. Wait. Rooster, you're having to wear a mask at the bank still, or again? I guess they re-implemented it. That's bizarre. And and you know what that's a result of, Rooster? That's a result of somebody just making a decision based out of previous conditioning, right? Because I have heard nothing about implementing any measure like that anywhere. I mean, Cali's off the wall. Cali's off the wall though, but that's interesting because they probably just did it as a organizational, whatever your bank's, however big it is, like at the top of the chain. They probably said, well, we're going to do this because there's these increased numbers, and these increased numbers mean absolutely nothing. But that's crazy. That's crazy, Rooster. Yeah, you just want to be a normie, Rooster, and go along and get it like normies do. Yeah, well, we all have a little bit of normie in us, right? Uh, oh, you were talking about in 2020. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like today. Oh, you were talking about refusing to wear one back in 2020. Is that what it was? Okay, I think I tracking what you're saying. Yeah, 2020 was a different animal. Like there were places where I would go and wear one, and I didn't even worry about it. And there's other places you didn't have to worry about anybody even talking to you about it if you didn't. So it's like, eh, it seemed like the worth the fight when you're talking about just individual people to a certain degree. But it went away fairly quickly around here. The Saint went for some groceries today. Huh. Interesting, Saint. Yeah, some people of the older uh, type that may have long-term sicknesses. I think for the last 5 years have been wearing one. I think, and that's probably under the advice of uh, their doctor, who's just over being overcautious with them. Because yeah, you get it. Like old people can get sick and get. This could have happened 20 years ago. You could have got the flu and died. If you're older, but people weren't wearing masks. It's just this nanny state, zero defect mentality that gets into people, to where they think that we can't have. You can't die. I mean, you're 76 years old. Your health is ailing. Yeah, you could get anything and die at any possible time. So you're going to kind of mitigate, you're going to minimize your life and not live its fullest by wearing this mask around, which inhibits your breathing and inhibits your oxygen, concentration. And it's not going to make you feel good. And if you don't do it right, you could make yourself actually sicker because you're not sanitized. I don't. Why did I get off on this topic? Makes me mad. ah, but yeah, I get given open. Don't confront anybody about it anyway. Like you do what you want to do. I think you're misguided, but hey, you do what you're gonna do. Just don't tell me I have to, right? Uh, you know, yeah, just don't tell me what to do. Especially at this point, I think everybody's drawn the battle lines. The battle lines are in full effect this time around. Um, some defectors on both sides, I think. Some people crossed over to the lines depending on what their experience was and what they heard or experienced. But where were we at? We're talking about the deportation, um, cutting of federal agencies, just all weeks in. We can only hope that if we get as many cuts and reduced spending in the next 3 weeks as we got in the last two, like we might actually be able to pay down some debt, which I didn't think would ever happen. I've always been pretty firm in my stance that we will never pay off any of the federal debt, but I don't know if this keeps going, we might actually do it. And I think I put a post on Twitter. If Trump reduces the federal debt by even $1, it'll be worth it because it'll be hands down a catastrophic blow to the central bank because they rely so much on the reimplementation of more debt. So to reduce it by even $1 without increasing it exponentially is catastrophic to them, and it reduces their power greatly. And people just need to understand that. But we'll see what the how the numbers shake out. I still have on my Twitter too that my prediction years ago was that by the end of 2025 the federal debt will be 50 trillion. I think I'm going to be far short, which is fortunate for all of us probably because things would be much worse if the debt was at that level. But um, yeah, we're 43 trillion or so. We might hit by the end of the year. We'll see how it shakes out. But these cuts definitely put a crimp on that. We'll see if they keep slashing away at it. Wages up, debt down, says the same. We'll see. We will see. Salud, says Amy. But yeah, hope for the best, right, Saint? Prepare for the worst. Pray for the best. Prepare for the worst. All those things. We'll see if wages go up in real terms. I mean, I guess you could say they do in the dollars number, but is that keeping up with inflation? It's really going to be the determinant to that and how the inflationary game goes. Um, it's just the back and forth, how invisible it is, and how hard it is to track. Till one day, bam, catches up to you. Inflation's at 5%. We'll see if we can check on the Vienna Sausage Index sometime this week. Maybe I can get to the store. I haven't checked on it. I guess it's been almost beginning of January last time I saw the Vienna sausages. So we'll see if we can get up to 99 cents anytime soon. That seems like I think to a certain degree, I think businesses are taking advantage of the political change to kind of slide in a little price increases here and there to kind of be able to blame it on blame it on people, and people of whatever the stripe they are would blame whoever they want instead of the business trying to get over on them. What's up, Liberty Garden? What's going on? Good to see you, Liberty Garden. I haven't seen any videos from you lately, Liberty Garden. Am I slacking, or have you just been taking a break? Which appropriate if you are, because you're always working hard. It says Argentina in Millet just posted an economic surplus. Yeah, I saw that. Yep. But their economy is a skosh smaller than ours. But you know, um, to get anything close to what Argentina did, we'd still, I think, got a long way to go, especially in defense spending. And you got to get all these deportations and stuff. You got to cut back on all the social services that they've been handed out to illegals with all these phones and all the other stuff that go through that social services network, and then the social security payouts that have been going out to people that never paid in. Like, that's all got to go away. That has to end. It's done. There can't be no equivocation on it if you want to get even close to what Argentina did. Rooster says, how much were Vienna sausages before 2020? I started tracking the Vienna Sausage Index in 2018, Rooster, at 49 cents. And these were the generic Kroger brand. And now they hit 89 back in late 2022, I believe, is when they hit 89, and have stayed there pretty consistent. I haven't seen 99 cents yet, but you just know they're waiting for an opportunity to raise that price, because like everything, they'll pay some pain for a little while to keep their customers or whatever. Then they gotta, at some point, they just say, well, I gotta raise prices. I can't keep up with whatever the costs are, whether it's shipping and personnel, whatever. The costs are too much, and they raise prices. Liberty Garden says, got one pending to load. All right, video from Liberty Garden incoming. And we don't want to forget about Poison Stinger. I got to go check him out. So I got a full list. Full list of video watching to do. All right. What time is it? Make sure my time is right. Okay. We at 7:50? All right. We'll be tracking here. Don't want to miss my appointment. I have a schedule to meet. So I'll try to do that. But so I got to get back on the shorts. I've been meaning to make the shorts with the minimal prep type things to do, and tracking, just doing basic stuff for the masses. Most of you are far ahead of the basics, so it's not really for you. But I've seen a lot of the shorts. The masses get to see the shorts more than they do your regular videos, right? Like, our regular videos don't get out to really a wide audience, where those shorts kind of get spread around a little bit better. So getting the preparedness message out a little bit different angle with those 1 minute shorts, I think maybe an angle. We'll see. It's It's my attempt at posterity, I guess. Poison Stinger says maybe I'll try to get my original channel back. Okay, I didn't know you lost your original. I didn't know you lost it. I just thought you changed your name. A lot of people have been changing channels just because, like, they shadow banned, blocked, whatever, and they just wanted to move on to a new channel. I didn't know you actually lost it. Rooster says no public assistance for 20 years if you're an invader. I mean, that makes common sense, right? You would think it would be that easy. Like, you don't get anything if, send you back to your place and you're documented as being an offender, and you don't get anything ever. Period. 20 years might be too generous. Like, ever might be better. It was reading the Modesto Bee that 20 families were going to have to find a place to stay. The funding has stopped at the motel they live. Oh, the government was funding the hotel stay? Yeah, I saw where New York cut that off a while back, like right during the interim before Christmas, like New York City cut off some of that assistance. Ah, YouTube got you, huh, Poison? Okay. On the Wuhan discussion. Yeah, and that's interesting, Saint. The vertical videos are phone friendly, and I asked this question a while back. I asked how many people watch videos on the TV or not, because my analytics have been saying one thing, and it kind of lined up with what most of the people said on here. It's like most of y'all don't watch on the TV or the regular computer for that matter, but I was thinking about scenic videos because I used to do a lot of scenic videos, right? And this is, I mean, YouTube didn't even have the vertical option back then, really. But, the whole purpose of half my videos was just to have scenery in them, right? And now that's kind of been taken away, and like, there's no reason to have it's not as scenic when you're in this vertical mode versus when you're panoramic, and it's when you get the mountains and everything in the background, it's a nice view, but it doesn't go along with this, It doesn't go along with this view at all. I think you're right about that. So, well, we'll see how the preparedness message gets out. That's what it's all about on that end. I'm also doing shorts for the 220th anniversary, 250th anniversary of the revolution. So we're starting this year. Could have started last year if we really were on our game, but I'm a slacker. Yeah, just kind of putting some stuff out for the historical perspective of the revolution and some of the just historical stuff to put that out there to remind everybody what it's all about, where it all started, and hopefully people keep up or have an opportunity. If you have an opportunity to go see some of the historical sites in the next 2 years, even 6 years, if you go up, till the end of the revolution, like, take that opportunity. Like, they should be putting on some good events. When I was at Lexington and Concord, they had signs up. They were getting ready for the 250th anniversary. So they were doing a lot of preparations and construction stuff and projects to have stuff ready for that. So certain places are doing things. So check in on that if you're near something. I would definitely say do it. When I was at Lexington and Concord, we were able to go down to the bridge because they were working on it for that. So I was kind of bummed at that, but hopefully it is a good presentation for this coming year. So we'll see how that comes out in April, if they put on a good reenactment or such thing. But we'll see what the U.S. Mint does for commemorative releases for coins for the 250, but I don't know. Don't get your hopes up. The Mint's been pretty bad. If Trump can replace the Mint guy and get somebody that's got some good ideas and has some good, wants to make American coins great again, make American coins great again. That would be awesome, because they suck continually. And their ideas when they did the survey for American commemoratives were lousy. Like, none of it had to do with the revolution. It was all these other commemorative ideas for old coins and old different remakes and all these famous Americans that don't have anything to do with the revolution. Like, people haven't seen the ball since kickoff. You don't know who you're dealing with. You're not focused on your target or the topic. Like, it's terrible. I don't think they've learned. We'll see. Mindy watches on her laptop. Saint, he's watching on a tablet. Yeah. Yeah, Poison, you were hoping the Mint has some nice stuff for 250. Yeah. Well, Salvate Metal did have a petition. It was last year in the fall. I can't remember what it was because this has been ongoing, Poison. If I don't know if you've been following, but yeah, the U.S. Mint did a survey last summer for 250th ideas, and they floated their renditions, and you could vote on it and everything. And I did a short video on it after I saw Salvate's after I saw Salvate Metal's video. I did a video just saying, "Hey, go check this out. Go take the survey. Give them feedback and everything." And I took it, and it was like, "What? This is not even. These people do not relate to the revolution in any manner whatsoever. Focus on the people of the revolution. Don't focus on your political favorites and your political correct classes that you've designed. That's what it was all about." And it's like, you people are going to destroy this, and I have no faith that you're going to make it any better. But Salvate Metal did several videos on that, and I don't know if any. I think a couple others did, but um, I put on. We were on Twitter, and I don't know. Scottsdale Mint had done something. They had a post, and I said Scottsdale Mint should be the ones to replace the U.S. Mint because the U.S. Mint hasn't done anything good in decades. And they got a little bit of feedback, but let me catch up here. Yeah, petition. Rooster says, I've been sending Revolution comments on the Los Angeles protest chats. Is that right? Yeah, I'm sure. The Reconquista, right? They're all about the Reconquista. Which is funny. I laugh about it. It's like, you people are all over there speaking this European language, acting like all special and tough. The Saint says that at least the Mint fixed its packaging presentation. Too expensive. Did they finally start putting stuff in some decent cases? I know, like, I saw some people, they got, like, whatever came in a box. It was like, it wasn't the good, sturdy box, the cardboard box. So I guess they reverted back to that a little bit. But I see what you're saying, too expensive. Yeah, the last thing I got in a box was like 2016. And those were still good back then, but I haven't. I kind of wish I could have kept up on the Miraculously Beautiful series, but it was definitely too expensive. Didn't meet my stacking needs, so I kind of pushed on, Rooster's in there giving them pushback on the Revolution comments. You're going to be labeled domestic enemies. We'll all be domestic enemies, right? We can all be domestic tourists together. We're kind of at that point now. Herman, welcome to the chat. Howdy. Intaglio Mint is pretty cool, says Saint. Okay. Scottsdale does some awesome stuff. Intaglio, I know I've seen some of their stuff because people have done videos on them. The Germania Mint does some amazing stuff. It's a little pricey considering, but it's some pretty amazing stuff. But Scottsdale easily could fit right in, take over the job of the U.S. Mint, and probably not miss a beat. Like the American Eagle quality would probably improve drastically overnight. Poison Stinger says he got the 75th silver dollar. They had a nice hard case and blue velvet. Okay. So they had a 75th anniversary edition of the silver dollar. Oh, did you get the peace dollar and the Morgan dollar combo thing? Is that what that was? Is that 75 years? I don't remember that. I don't remember that release. Somebody's agreeing. Rooster says, yes, that's true. We're all their enemies, right? Yeah, that's the thing about, we'll all end up in there and like, oh, we're all in the same boat, right? Oh, the World War II release, Poison Stinger? Okay. I missed that. I didn't see that either. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of stopped following the U.S. Mint. After I stopped getting the American Beautiful series, I kind of like, I don't even look at their website, and except to take that survey. And I'm just, we'll see what comes out. Kind of hopeful, but I was like, if they don't redo a Franklin half dollar, like it's like the only U.S. coin that is ever directly, it was coinage and released and in circulation that is directly tied to the revolution. And I haven't seen anything about them redoing it. Like that's the one coin you should redo is the Franklin half dollar. Like reissue it in 90% circulation. Like if you wanted, like, or put it in it commemorative, whichever way you do it. But that's like the one coin that we have that has been directly tied to the revolution that has not been re-released. Kind of bizarre. Nobody has that thought in their mind, like, hey, we did this. There's this thing that's, about the revolution, 250. Like, there's this guy on this coin that, was kind of important during that time frame. Maybe we should redo that coin. Nobody has enough common sense there at the mint, I don't think. Boneyard's eating tri-tip. All right. See, we're at 45 minutes. I think I'm going to have to roll out, folks. I got a few minutes here, but it was good catching up with everybody. Especially all you West Coasters I don't usually see. It doesn't seem like half the time. For whatever reason. It seems like we're always missing most of you guys, but Poison's not on the West Coast. But either way, it's good to see you guys. Yeah, definitely stay frosty with the current conditions. Trump could end up, still be bipolar, the police state can always be turned against you. So, it's like this deportation scheme, yeah, it's great that they're getting rid of some bad guys, but don't let it get too built up. I'm glad to see that, yeah, there's the politicized sheriffs that are like, we're totally not backing ICE, but I like the calmer sheriffs who are like, we do our part in, in how they, protect public safety. They're not like, well, we're just all in on helping ICE. Like, okay, let's let them do their job. We'll do our job, and that'll be it. And I'm glad to see some balance in that people aren't just in the law enforcement community are all in there like, yeah, we're gonna be in there with them, kicking doors or whatever, and just assisting as needed, I guess you'd say, to secure the general populace around the area if something was to happen where, if ICE got in a shootout with a gang or whatever. I'm sure they're getting intel because there's task force everywhere already with all the gang task force and everything to they know where people are at and stuff. So the local sheriffs are probably already pretty in tune, but not getting directly involved in the door kicking. So hopefully that stays calmed down and it doesn't get blown out of proportion or amped up, because the last thing we want is like every sheriff's department in the country kicking doors on things at the request of ICE. That's definitely not what we want. I don't think. I don't want that. I don't know what you want, but I don't want that. Soylent green burgers for the hipsters, says Boneyard. Oh, them grays gotta taste sweet, says Rooster. All right, you guys have a good night. Yeah, I just want to wrap it up real quick with there's the topic of the mayhem. Between the economic impacts of tariffs, the Chinese response hasn't come through yet, but we'll see how that continues to play out. Obviously, Canada, Mexico's kind of playing ball now. Very quickly, it's more quickly than any of us imagined, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know, isn't Trudeau out like any time there, Boneyard? Isn't Trudeau out of prime ministership? I thought he resigned or he was quitting like any day. I'm surprised that he even responded. He was even part of this response. Like, he shouldn't even be in the government anymore, I thought. But he was the one kind of saying, we're going to stand up to Trump. I don't know. We'll see how Canada rolls out. I'm seeing a lot of insurgency activity on some of the Canadian bros' responses to what their own government's doing. Like, yeah, whatever, Justin. You whatever. So it's one of those things. Instability can always result. Prepare accordingly, but take advantage of the good time that if you do have whatever capabilities you have to continue to improve your position, improve your skills, improve your stockpiles, and improve your preparedness, etc. Yeah, Boneyard, dictators never leave that easy. Yeah, right, Poison. They got a new guy coming in. Trudeau's out, but I don't know when that date is. I thought it would have been already through, but like Boneyard says, dictators are never easy to get rid of. Depose of him as you will, but yeah, especially if you're in a heavily congested area where some of these anti-deportation protests are taking place. That's probably the most hazardous of environments right now. Is if you get near one of those, like somebody said something, somebody blocks your car, avoid the situations, and stuff like that. Be mindful of getting off on the wrong exit. If you're passing through a big city, you could end up in such a place, and you don't want to end up there. And I saw a lot of the video out of LA and Dallas. They're on overpasses and stuff. So drive your route wisely. Avoid, identify all possible alternate routes. Liberty says Prime Minister's last day in office are like a goodbye tour by Elton John. Is that right, Liberty? The Liberty Gardens are resident Canadian expert. Vegas Stacker, what's up? Good evening. Oh, you were on the stream. Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Cool. I'll have to go check it out. I was talking here earlier about the U.S. Mint and how they're just dropping the ball. I know they're going to drop the ball on the 250th commemoratives, but we'll see. Maybe Trump can fire the Mint lead and get a new Mint director in there, and maybe the U.S. Mint can actually make some good coins. Or my preferred solution is just give it all over to Scottsdale Mint. Scottsdale does all the U.S. work of the U.S. Mint and axe all those people at the U.S. Mint really incompetent. Would be my solution. All right. Yeah, everybody have blessings. Take care. Have a good week. Just use February to your advantage. We've had good weather here. Relatively, we do have a little bit of a storm coming in, but the prepared time is now, especially for your gardens. Like, make all your composting and fertilizer needs and seed planting in place. This is the time of year, especially if you're shut in those long hours of darkness. Get those gardens ready. Exactly, Liberty. Get Liberty Gardens ready. But good to see you all. We will be talking to you later. Prep hard, live free.